Welcome back, awesome action toy fans and subscribers. I have JoyToy Warhammer 40k Primaris Lieutenant, is it Tolmeron? Or Tolmeron maybe? This is supposed to be the body type 2 from JoyToy, so we'll be looking at how that's going to differ from the body type 1 in terms of size, articulation and so forth in a moment. Looks really cool. This was a surprise turn up. I'm loving that gold helmet. Looks pretty cool. On the back we can see the contents. I'm not seeing much new in terms of accessories. Looks to be pre-existing. Maybe the sword is new, but he does look pretty good. It tells us that he's a 12 centimeter figure. That should be to the top of this, I guess, halo part, for want of use of a better word, but I will measure that to the top of the head and to the top of that in a moment. Looks really cool. Only thing for me to do is to open him up, set him up and take a look. So back in an instant. Okay, here he is. He is set up. So he comes with that little pistol, the big sword we saw. He has this alternate unhelmeted head. Very atmospheric. Loving the inking on the teeth there. Really quite cool. Very, very nice. He also comes with alternate hands, 2 pairs. Let me just have a quick look where they are. So we have a left hand fist. We have a left hand open. We have a right hand for the sword. And we have a left hand, a left hand for a special lady, I guess. I'm not sure. Yeah, 2 finger sort of point left hand as well. And as he is a named character, he also comes with another collector's card, which looks pretty cool. And if you can read Chinese, then you can pause this and you can read what it says. That's better, no glare there. Very, very nice. So body type 2, I've noticed one difference straight away, which I'll talk about in a moment. But first impressions, I'm disappointed with something. That's the thing I've noticed straight away, but I'll talk about that a bit later as well. He does look good though, and again they've gone for this sort of heavy black inking around sort of the borders as opposed to highlighting with a white on the original releases. So let me just zoom out a little bit. Sorry, boop, 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 boop. And so we get a close look. Let's get this down. Let's get this head around. So here he is. Very nice. You can see what I mean by the heavy sort of black inking in the recesses and the lines. Got some nice detailing there. See a sword. You can see the sort of the black inking around here. That same backpack we've seen before around to here. A very nice looking figure. Okay, so differences that I've noticed. The first one I've noticed is the pauldrons. They are now not joined by a little pin and tab, but it's on a little loop, which again I much prefer a pin and tab, and they connected it lower down. And I'm disappointed with that on the loop. I mean, it does work, but it's still going to impede articulation more than if it were on a pin and tab at the base of the pauldron as opposed to the top. That's what I've noticed. Maybe the body is a bit different too. We'll see a bit later. But aesthetically, it looks the same. Articulation we'll check out in a moment. Does look pretty cool. So speaking of articulation, let me just take this sword. Pretty nice sword there. I like in the artwork this like glowing with electricity, bzzz, or buzzing. And here he's got a bit of a source lighting going on the blue. Let's take out his little pistol. Okay, so from top to bottom, first up we know that the nozzle should move on the backpack, and they do. Head forwards backwards is pretty good, side to side is really quite good actually, and he can turn nicely. Arms go all around very easily, and this is one of the good things about this attachment system for the pauldrons. They don't get in the way. Now where they do get in the way, and it's why they should have attached the pauldrons at the base by a pin, is that on the sideways. That is it. Much more than that, and his arm's going to pop off. Now you could take the pauldron off completely, and you won't get a pin stuck on the arm anymore like you would with the other ones. That still could work, you know. And his arm will go not quite 90. It will need a longer pin for that. But it still looks okay. Like that. Other thing, if you look inside here, this part does move forwards and backwards, so he does have a small shoulder roll forwards and backwards. Now I'm going to look at that with the pauldron on again to get a better idea of his articulation in the way he comes. The standard setup is also worth noting about the way these pauldrons are attached, is that this is quite a thin piece of plastic. So whereas it's flexible and may not snap like the pegs might have done on the old system, this is, I put it the wrong way around, that's clever. This is far more likely to suffer from wear and tear, I would have thought. Though don't quote me on that. Okay, so look at this arm. So he can swing his shoulder slightly forwards and slightly backwards. It means he can get his arm across his body, including his bicep bend really nicely. Look at that. So that is a big improvement. You can see that it's popped out on the back there, and now I'll pop it in the other way. So he gets really good arm across the body. So holding some sort of two-handed weapon should be really much easier with this body type. There is movement on the other ones too. Bicep bend looks to be the same, so it should be a very tight bend. However, you need to get it lined up in the right place. It's getting over 90 there. But yeah, his sculpting on these forearm pieces is getting in the way. I want to get a lot more than 90. Trunk. There is a forwards backwards, there is a side to side, there is a twist. He's got a waist, so waist and trunk popping off. We see different on the body type there as well actually, and this looks to be different. So forwards, backwards, pretty good on the forwards, backwards together. Now that is quite impressive, look at that. That's very impressive, I do like that. Let's look at the side. To side is alright. Let's put his little modesty cloth back on. Outwards is going to be restricted by the sculpting on the gun stuff. I'm saying that, but on the other side it's doing very small as well. But you wouldn't expect a Space Marine to be doing full splits anyway. Unless he's like an Archicore figure who looks like a Space Marine. He's got fantastic articulation. Forwards, backwards, again, things are going to get in the way. Though that is pretty damn good considering. Backwards is pretty cool too. Can you have this and this at the same time? It looks like very hard to have that range of motion with everything on, but still pretty decent. There's a thigh twist. Double kneecap, incredibly tight for the bulk, well over 90, which is really quite good. There should be a boot twist, boot turn. It's small, but it's there. There is a foot swivel. There is a tippy toe, but if you go too much, like I just did, he'll pop out of joint. And interestingly, I'm getting a lot more motion on the there we go. Get the heels underneath the armor, and then you get a decent, a fair enough tippy toe. Let me push this part back in. This looks like it should probably possibly be glued in, but it just came out. There are some issues with JoyToy quality control, but the amount of toys they're churning out for a small company, you can expect to get some issues. Is that going to stay in for me? Probably won't. Am I doing the right place? There we go. Okay. So dorsiflexation. Again, you need to get the ankle under the sort of shin armor, and it's minimal, but he does have the toe articulation. He is a great looking figure. Articulation is pretty good. The shoulders I'm disappointed with, if I'm honest. The roll is quite nice, but the fact that they pop out so easily, he can't get 90 degrees, and it's just a bit, yeah, in my mind. Okay, let's get an idea of his size. They say 12 cm. Actually, that's probably to the top of his head as opposed to the top of the sort of halo on the backpack, because that's surely got to be bigger. So top of his head is around 12. Top of the backpack halo is around 14 cm. Oh, right. Good balance though. He's still standing up. If I compare him to I always use my original Invicta Warsuit pilot because he's on my desk. We can see that he is bigger. Obviously, he's taller. Obviously, he's chunky. He's got the big pauldrons on his shoulders. But it's a good comparison. It's a good addition to your Blood Angels, I've got to say. I like him. I think it's a decent release, particularly if you're collecting the Blood Angels, which is a damn sight cheaper than collecting the Ultramarines because there's a lot less of them. I think he's really quite cool. I think the only thing to do is to change his head over. Hopefully this won't be a difficult change. Okay, that should be easy. And see how he looks with the alternate head on. Whoa! There we go. He does look good. A good all-round figure. Another good release by JoyToy. I won't say this is essential unless you're doing, you're collecting everything or you're collecting the Blood Angels, but I think it is a good release and I would recommend it. Okay, this is Awesome Action Toys signing out, saying please like, share, subscribe. Please consider joining the Patreon. Link in the top right of the corner now. Stay happy, keep collecting. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.